everyone, it's Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. And this is my weekly show where my guests and I each pick a film related in some shape or form, and hopefully by the end of this episode, you have two films to go check out. And joining me for the first Thursday of the month, it's my wife, Jess.
Hello.
Welcome. And we picked a couple of strange, quirky documentaries that were lampooned on Documentary Now and focuses on some reclusive folks in interesting situations. A lot more connections than anticipated. But we're going to be talking about 1975's Grey Gardens and 2005's Grizzly Man. So let's get started with Grey Gardens. And this is from directors Ellen Hovde, Albert Maysles, David Maysles, and Muffy Meyer. And this focuses on Edith and little Edie Bouvier Beale. And this is a mother and daughter high society dropouts, reclusive cousins of Jackie Onassis Kennedy, managing to thrive together amid the decay and disorder of their East Hampton, New York mansion. For an eerie ramshackle echo of American Camelot.
Wow, that
What
was a wordy synopsis.
what a synopsis.
Wow.
Jess, what are your thoughts on Grey Gardens?
Well, the first thing I had to do is go see what the house looks like now, because I love a good old house with good bones.
Mm-hmm.
That looks good. They did a great job cleaning it up. You'd have no idea it was under all the detritus and whatnot. I enjoyed this. I thought it was a really interesting look into eccentric recluses as they were.
For sure, one of the first things that you really get drawn to is just this mansion.
Yeah.
And
I didn't realize it was so big. Like if you look it up, it's what, 14 rooms or something like that. You would never know
it's a massive place.
because they only live in like 2 or 3 rooms.
And you notice very quickly it's very disheveled. Like the whole entire house basically has its own personality.
Oh, it's in terrible repair.
And it's basically a character all of its own in this film. And so basically, you have three characters: the house and this mother who screams really loud.
Shane, don't forget the 15 or so cats running around.
Yes, there are a lot of cats, but you have Edith who screams.
Yeah, she's a
Very
pretty shrill older lady.
real older lady.
Although she was a hottie in her youth, they show her when she was a singer and stuff like that. Like the background is wild on this.
It's like, wow, these were
I mean, they're an insanely wealthy family.
true. They
And then he
were
divorced and ran off to Mexico, got a quote Mexican divorce.
wild.
They go into that.
And this is a mother and daughter who were attractive, wealthy, and just wound up being completely disconnected,
Yeah, they with
shunned from high society, and then became recluses.
yeah, their son coming over for that like what birthday dinner for Edith was very interesting.
It's like their dynamic, like this is certainly like
Other daughter.
reality TV in its infancy.
Yeah.
Is just watching the two of them interact with each other is fascinating because I feel like they have a lot of things in common,
They're
and
codependent.
they're extremely codependent, and they just get on each other's nerves. And the mom's constantly giving the daughter crap all the time.
You know? And then she's like talking about how she needs her and she can't ever leave, and Edie is like, I can't wait to get out of here.
It reminds me of the mother-daughter in SpongeBob with the chocolate bars.
Oh yeah, no, it's probably influenced. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me if it was influenced by
If
that.
you rub the chocolate on your skin, you'll live forever. I hate you. But then you have all these moments with little Edie and the song and like the dance number.
With the American flag. Yeah, because she was gonna dance, wasn't she? In a parade or something?
It's all these things where it's just like these cameras come in and something's triggered inside them to try to like reach for that spotlight again that they used to have. It's a fascinating like human experience watching this.
They do kind of compete with each other for the cameraman's attention.
Yes, they both want to have their moments in the camera eye. and complaining about each other.
I mean, if there's nobody else to talk to, I get it.
It's a fascinating
There's
film,
just
and
stuff all over.
it's very raw, engrossing, and it feels so compelling. It's hard to like look away,
Hmm.
honestly.
Well, they did what's this type of documentary called? I forget, where you just kind of let people be. It feels very much
It's very
like you just found a really interesting person. I think I was reading about how they found each other, and they just had the filmmakers had happened to hear about them from like a
Mhm.
friend of a friend and then went to film. And this was leftover footage, I think, from the original one. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Original what?
Like I think they were filming something else, and uh I think that this
What was
was
like
like additional footage.
a bigger story about the
Maybe.
family?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Well, they found a gold mine
Yeah, like they called it something else, like Summer of I don't know.
because this is legitimately hilarious, and the two of them are so interesting to
Well,
watch.
that's exactly it. They found these, it's like, come look at these eccentric weirdos. You feel for them.
Yeah, and it's that strange, like walking that thin line between like exploitative and because like,
It has the trappings of a modern day freak show because
oh
you're like,
yeah,
hey, look at these people. Look how weird this
is
is.
the filmmaker trying to like paint this empathetic look at these people or like filming them for entertainment value?
Good question.
And it's an interesting experience because like you do find some empathy for them, but also it's hard not to laugh at them.
Well, and I think it kind of worked out in the end in terms of helping them because before this, they were trying to, the police or sheriff was trying to evict them, I think it was. And then after this, someone else, like they moved them out of this house and someone else renovated it. So, I mean, I guess in the end it worked, question mark?
It's a fascinating thing to, just drop in on these two quirky, strange characters and just be there for like 95 minutes and experience what their life is like
Yeah.
and their whole entire dynamic with each other is fascinating
We do love beachfront property,
for sure.
although it's a mess. I mean, it's just a tangle. Like I said, I could not believe
Because
what
this
it
is Long
actually looked
Island,
like.
right?
Yeah, they're like right at the end of Long Island. Was it really look at the before and after pictures? That's my suggestion. Like whoever's listening,
There's some homework.
go ahead.
Go
I
and
mean, no, I mean it really illustrates because when you see this, it's just a tangle of weeds, and even the cover picture is
Mhm.
just a mess. You would never know.
And it's one of those things where it's like the way it's shot feels so modern because it feels like so many of these horror
Yeah,
documentaries where like
something just slightly creepy is happening.
and that you feel like something bad's gonna happen. And I had that feeling multiple
Her
times throughout
going
this
down the
film.
stairs, I was like, oh no. Oh no.
It's
She
interesting.
even said it. She was like, I'm gonna die falling down these stairs. I can't believe my daughter leaves them in this state.
It's wild, and
Spoiler alert, she doesn't fall down the stairs.
nothing bad happens to them.
No.
But it's a fascinating peek behind the curtain at a couple of reclusive ladies who are past their primes, but once that camera eye is on them, it comes rushing back to them.
Well, and all the big plans that Edie has, where she talks about when my mother dies, I'm gonna do, and then I don't remember if I inserted this or if Edith does say, "You can't wait for me to die."
You gotta go live your life. You gotta go live your life.
Yeah, it was interesting. And then the random teenage young 20s person that just kind of hangs around.
Well,
They
and
don't really get into him. He just kind of is there.
little Edie has some stories.
Oh
But like,
yeah, they have once they started getting on the role of storytelling, it was great.
well,
It's
because
quite a life.
they did, and there's some men in her life that she's like, I could have been gone from here.
Oh, and her mom is even like, "Why didn't you marry this one? He was a good match." And you hated him. Classic mom daughter stuff, honestly.
Classic.
Their
I
relationship
would
really is not
100% know.
that bad, all things considered. Like they still clearly love each other.
It's a very interesting experience for sure. But Jess, do you have any other final thoughts on Grey Gardens?
I think you know how boys have that. This would be a great space to bleed out or whatever meme that's going around. I think it could be a great place to just bed rot. That's how I feel.
There you go.
Look great. Uh-oh.
Well, You could check out the documentary now version of this with Fred
Bill Hader
Armisen
kills it.
and Bill Hader as the
Both
mother and
do.
daughter.
What did you call? I forget what they called it.
Next up, we have 2005's Grizzly Man from director Werner Herzog, and a devastating and heartrending take on grizzly bear activists Timothy Treadwell and Annie Huguenard, who are killed in October 2003 while living among grizzly bears in Alaska. And so, yes, what were your general thoughts on Grizzly Man?
Wow, well, I couldn't remember if it was this guy or another horrible death about or caused by bears that I was thinking of, which probably doesn't say a lot about me that I multiple that it could be. I thought it was a fascinating documentary, and it's not often that you see Werner Herzog like shaken by stuff. I feel like he's pretty stoic. What a great German. Um, but watching him listen to the recording of that horrible death, which by the way, I did not know had never been released because a lot of people for some reason like to fake it and release it on the internet. So any recordings you hear about are not real, which that was just weird. People need hobbies.
Most importantly, you should never listen to the tape. You should destroy the tape.
Yeah, like I mean you can see it on his face and he's seen some pretty fucked up stuff. I mean,
Like, yeah,
he's been a lot of places. He
Klaus
almost got
Kinski
murdered.
pulled a gun on him on set
Well, I love that lamp shading too when he's like, I have seen this type of madness before.
on on a movie set. Just like, damn,
Immediately I
throwing
said,
shade.
I was like, take that, Klaus Kinski.
This one, Timothy Treadwell is a fascinating person.
Yeah, it's another entry in the mentally ill people latching themselves onto animals universe. I think we've
Yes,
seen this before, including me.
pangolins and octopus.
Oh man, I forgot about my octopus teacher.
I'll never forget
His
my
wife,
octopus teacher.
it's like the same as that Pavarotti documentary where they're talking to the guy's
He
wife.
just loved octopi.
She's got that like 1,000 yards there.
It,
Anyway,
Treadwell obviously was having quite a few mentee bees here.
yeah.
And instead of going to therapy, he just hung out with foxes and bears.
Well, what's chilling too is his girlfriend's diary entry about how he's hellbent on destruction or whatever she said. Like, ooh, yikes, buddy. And like, I
She should have ran away before he yelled run away when he was being actively mauled by a bear.
well, I thought that Werner Herzog presented it as a pretty balanced perspective because you kind of start with feeling pretty sorry for him, and then you go into his background, and it's just kind of like, oh, he honestly he lived a whole life before this whole stuff went on there. Interesting.
Well, and it's very much like into the wild, all of these types of things where somebody just disconnected from society completely isolates themselves, and it ends poorly because we're not meant to be out in the wild, and you just have this whole entire
I mean,
experience because like he is not mentally okay,
no,
and he has all of these really raw emotional moments with these animals. He has these crashing out moments where he's like yelling expletives to like
yeah, the bears are fighting, which bears do. They're
well,
politic
specifically
animals.
like he's freaking out about the people trying to get him out of there, and like
Yeah.
the park rules and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, which
There's rules for a reason.
yeah, and he's not a scientist. He's
No.
not a biologist. He's not sanctioned to be there officially, regardless of how right or wrong that is.
And the film, because Herzog leverages so much of his footage. So like this is him recording
Mhm.
himself. So like this is him recording himself being like, I'm the only one that can protect these bears when, he's not. They're perfectly fine. Who's he protecting them from?
Mhm.
And then you
Well,
have
that was interesting too with the park ranger who said our poaching numbers are really, really low. He said it doesn't really happen.
well, that's the thing, because how many poachers did we see in this film?
We didn't see, I mean, we did see the photographers that were provoking them, allegedly, did we actually see footage of them provoking the bear? I don't think we did.
Well, and you had that whole entire moment where he sees that like smiley face is like, this is an act of threat.
Yeah, yeah, and I didn't
The
really.
paranoia in this that is captured through this footage is honestly unnerving and terrifying. This man needed help.
It is fascinating though that the group of bears he was around, the familiar bears, did seem to not care about him. I mean, they were just kind of chilling. It was the rogue bears that came in and it's the condition that seems to always preclude a lot of bear attack. Not always, but I'm reading Death in Yellowstone, great book recommendation. Bring a Strong Stomach. There's some pretty vivid descriptions of deaths in Yellowstone, surprisingly. But they talk about how like the first bear fatalities were bears with injuries and bad teeth that couldn't hunt, and they attacked people because they couldn't find any other prey or source of food, which this bear had done too. I mean, it
Well,
was it was a big old bear that hadn't fattened up for hibernation yet,
mhm.
and it was getting desperate and food was low. But that's how it happens. It's just that one weird thing that happens.
Well, and there's some fascinating footage of two bears fighting,
Yeah.
which was wild. Um, and it's so interesting because Werner Herzog takes every film that he does and takes it as a learning experience for himself. And
Which we love the lifelong learner attitude.
he's fascinated by Treadwell as a person and as a figure
Mm,
in the story.
mhm,
And him connecting with his former lover and supporter who basically like is his widow,
mhm,
all intents and purposes, gets all of his stuff including the recording, and that scene
mhm.
where it like has Werner Herzog listening to it and you can just tell how much it's affecting him, and he's just like at the end he's like, you should destroy this tape.
Yeah, I mean, there's a transcript that exists, which is disturbing enough,
Yep.
but the audio has never actually been released. Which good. Why? I mean, I don't want to hear, I guess, morbid curiosity.
I have
But
to say, I'm trying to remember what his name was, but there was this guy that was friends with him in California.
oh
It was
yeah,
a fascinating
I never want to hear
character.
more about that guy.
I want a documentary on that guy. Spin-off
Where he
documentary.
was talking about how like kind of normal, I guess you want to say, not normal, but like it seemed like Treadwell was just a dude in California with him. Like they seemed like actually good friends. We had connections
Well,
with
he seemed
people.
like a very this guy seemed like a very matter-of-fact kind of person.
Yeah, honestly,
And
he was pretty cool.
fascinating character. Um, and Treadwell's girlfriend, Amy, was a mystery, a giant question mark, because she was
Mhm.
barely in any of the footage. And
Yeah, he shows all the footage with her, and it's maybe like 4 minutes. She seemed
if that,
terrified. I felt really bad for her.
it's just like, lady, what were you doing?
Well, and she was
Um,
stuck with him. That's a part of being out that remote too, is you can't really get out. It's seaplane, I think, is how
well,
they got in
and
and out.
this is such a haunting experience watching all of this and just seeing a man's mental state spiral, his paranoia heightened. And, you know, these are massive animals,
Hmm.
and him just crashing out about any moment where, because like it's very graphic, you find like bear skulls and bear cup limbs and stuff like that along the way. It's like
Yeah,
it's
because that's
nature,
unfortunate. Yeah, that's exactly
it's
it.
just how it is.
Bears are
And
solitary. They're not herd animals.
well, and his just getting so emotionally attached to this bad stuff that happens in nature is concerning, because
Hmm.
like this man has sacrificed his own mental health worrying about these animals who are just living their lives.
Well, I think there was pre-existing conditions too, because they do talk about his alcohol addiction. I can't remember something, some substance. But they talk about that, and I'm sure that plays a factor where you've replaced alcohol or another substance with bear, I guess. Nature.
Yep,
I mean,
he's addicted to nature.
as someone with an obsessive personality, I kind of get it, although I've never done anything that risky to me, but I get obsessed with stuff.
Mhm.
Like, you know.
I certainly do too.
And I kind of
um
get bonding with animals too, especially if you feel misunderstood by people as a former horse girl. Although horses are herd animals. Um, yeah, it's I liked the biologist. I thought he was a very neutral person because obviously he hates poaching and encroachment of nature and stuff, but he also just kind of he felt like the straight man in this documentary. He just presented facts, like the fact that there's not a lot of poachers, like the fact that the bear that had killed them had a tooth removed because it was acting weird the year before and all this other stuff.
Also, That coroner deserves an
Oh
Oscar.
my God, you know what? I saw him and thought that could have been me in another light. Honestly, this the way that he was just matter of factly talking about all this fucked up stuff and details. I mean,
Well, it wasn't matter of fact. He was putting on a performance.
well, yeah, that
Like
true.
he was like leaning into it, and
True.
like
I guess
he
it's just how plainly he talked. He was like, "Yeah, here's some limbs.
well,
Check them out."
I don't think no, there was so much emotion and like he was putting on a performance, like he was trying to tell a story,
Okay.
and it's fascinating. I'm like, this guy, they brought a camera in here, and this guy's like, I'm turning it on, baby, and was like, I'm gonna be a
I
star.
guess I'm thinking of when you showed the casket the first time. He's like, "Yeah, this is where they came in," and then it started.
Well, I don't know. He
It's
just
okay.
brought a
I'm probably
very
not remembering it well.
he brought a very specific energy where he was putting on a performance. There's some performance art going on with him telling this story, and he was recounting what probably happened
Well,
when they died, which is also very morbid.
he probably sees some wild stuff up there in Alaska. I can't imagine that he, you know, gets a lot of just regular bodies. I don't know, but
I don't think he gets a whole lot of people showing up with cameras for him to be
yeah,
able to show off. And that's the thing. This film is filled with interesting people and strange
well, I think that's
characters.
part of Werner Herzog's appeal, isn't it? He always finds the odd people, the entertaining characters.
Well, you don't make a documentary about uninteresting people,
That's
right?
very fair. Maybe we should though, because there's one person that Paige and I know who we just talk about how like normal they are and how even that's remarkable. So we're like, she's just so normal. What a normal person.
Well, Jess, do you have any other thoughts on Grizzly Man?
No, but now I'm wondering if people meant Grizzly Adams when they used to talk about bearded people. Timothy Trenwell did not have a beard, I don't think.
Grizzly Adams is a dude
Yeah, but he has
who
a
did have a
beard.
beard.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But someone's like, "Hey, Grizzly Man." I think they meant Grizzly Adams. Unrelated.
Well, Timothy Treadwell's Grizzly Man,
Yeah. I think
but
it's
he's not
thinking it
Grizzly
that I'm
Adams.
confused. I mean, it's a fascinating documentary. I think that it's worth going into.
It is worth a watch for sure, but
You gotta have a strong stomach,
warning,
though. I mean, there's definitely
warning.
content. It's not the worst documentary I've seen in
There's a
terms of
bloody
content.
bear cub skull at one point.
Yeah, I mean, it's nature.
Well, I'm just saying not everybody is prepared for
That's
just
part
how raw nature is.
that's part of Death in Yellowstone too.
Here's the thing. People need to like check themselves and realize that nature is wild, nature is dangerous, and people are like, "Oh my god, I'm going to go protect the bears," and get eaten by bears because they're wild animals and you don't f's around with them.
Yep, and they're solitary. They
So
don't care about your feelings.
those are my final thoughts about, you know, check yourself and don't be stupid when it comes to nature. Nature's unforgiving. Just because you have a kitty cat at home or a dog at home
Well, that's
doesn't mean
exactly it. We've made things so safe. I was reading about Europe and stuff like that, and how a lot of places in Europe they took all the major predators away, killed them all, and now you don't have any. So,
well, there's still predators in Alaska and
except
their
for the
names
black
are grizzlies.
and Pisleys and Kodiak bears.
But anyway, but those are our thoughts on Grey Gardens and Grizzly Man. This double dose of documentaries lampooned by Documentary Now. But Jess, thank you as always for coming on and talking movies with me.
Yeah.
Jess hasn't decided what you wanted to do for next month, so I don't have a
Oh yeah.
preview.
Oops.
But next episode, Mike, our fearless leader here at the SPDM crew, and I will be talking about Candyman and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Two 90s horror flicks about hook-handed men killing people.
Yeah,
Well,
whatever happened to
one's a
them?
hook hand and one's a fisherman's hook, but whatever.
We haven't had a good hook-handed villain in a long time. Maybe we overdid it.
The slash slinging slasher.
The hash slinging slasher.
Slasher. Uh, but thank you all for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What is your favorite strange, quirky documentary or your favorite nature focused documentary? Make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. The SPDM Crew Podcasting Network is ever expanding. We have so many great shows with all different types of interests. plenty of movie ones. So if you enjoy movies, but if you want to join the crew as a guest on one of these shows, or you have an idea for your own podcast, reach out to us on our website. And if you like our logo, check out High Flyer Creative for all of your digital marketing needs. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.